Alright, here's the boot up time. So, I don't do this a lot, but I have found a lot of different information about Batocera and different computers and things like that, and I thought I would just kind of show what goes on with this. So this is a 2009 iMac. It has a dual core chip in it. It has 2 gig of RAM. It has, I think it's about a 200 gig hard drive. We'll have a look later. Maybe 130. It's quite small. So I've put Batocera on it. I've done a lot of looking into Batocera, and there's a lot of, oh gosh, difficult stuff. I couldn't get all the arcade ROMs to work. So I ended up buying a little Kinhank drive just for the arcade games. The rest of the Kinhank drive is a bit trash because it is in like French and Spanish, and like I just want English stuff. So I got the drive, used the ROMs for the arcade stuff, and then put in my other ROMs that I have laying around. So this is it. I'll give you a look, because often with these Batocera things, they just want to flick through all the, oh, I've got 1,700 games, I've got this many games, I've got that. I want to know how it plays. I want to know, and I want you to know, can I put Batocera on a, really, this thing cost me $50. A $50 all-in-one Mac, and how will it play? So I'm going to show you. Bear with me. I have noticed that a lot of the time the USB controller will need to be put in each time. I don't know how or why, it just is, so allow me to show you. Out and back in, and I'll say at the top, Xbox One pad connected. Okay, this is what I'm using. Game Boy Advance. Will it play the games? Now for this, it comes up as a Game Boy altogether, like the screen on the outside. So the select button, advanced system options, that'll change the whole lot of the Game Boy games. Enter into that. You want to go down to decorations. I like it off. So none there, okay. Let's play the first one that comes up. This might have been a Kinhank one. It's still got a Kinhank ROM on it. Okay, because it's in German. Look, to fast forward anything with this Batocera, you just do the hotkey and the right on the D-pad. So here you can play some very annoying sounding football game. Everything on this Game Boy is going to work sweet. Okay, to exit, it's hotkey and start. Go back to the exit, back to the main thing. All right, I just want to show you the system settings. I've got the sound turned down because the sound on this thing's pretty harsh. As in, it's noisy, and I do not like noise. Can't find it where it says what the processor is and the graphics type and things like that. Oh, I remember. All right, it is in information. So start button, information, system settings. Okay, so we've got 140 gig hard drive. The Batocera part takes up 6 gig. The rest is your ROMs. Memory, 2 gig. With a Duo. It has some kind of graphics chip in there. It's quite weak, and it just uses some generic driver. Alright, back to the games. Better yet, runs Firefox. I've noticed that the like if you want to play video or anything, it can be a bit choppy, and I think that might be because of the very old Wi-Fi chip in it. I haven't tried hooking it up to an Ethernet port. So here you see keyboard and mouse. You can look up whatever you want as just with any other browser. First thing that comes up.
How to kill all mosquitoes in the area in 90 seconds. This simple but brilliant trick you can do
So,
to eliminate all mosquitoes around you.
it looks pretty good. It's not having a problem.
An ingenious college student from Berkeley just solved a 250
Get out of it.
year-old bug problem with a device.
I don't actually know how to get out of it. Oh, just close the window. Alright, back on the control pad now. Master System, it's going to play everything beautifully. Mega Drive, PlayStation, took a lot of fiddling with to get the best out of it in some games like Parappa the Rapper. And of course the Nintendo 64 took a lot of fiddling to get the best out of it. I'll let you have a red hot tip. When you want to change or play a specific Nintendo 64 game, you have a few different emulators to choose from, and some won't even run a ROM, while some will play it flawlessly. Instead of changing the emulator every time you want to play a Nintendo 64 game, so by doing that you go to Advanced Options, go to the emulator, and then you'll choose what you want to have. But there's not a lot of point in setting one emulator for the whole lot. And it took me a little bit to figure it out, because if you set the one emulator for the whole lot, it's not going to work on other games. So, to set it for individual games, just hold down the south button, edit advanced game options, and you can pick the emulator you want for that one specific title, and it won't set it for all of them. That took me a bit of figuring out. So I've got some favorites here. I just want to show you. So this is PlayStation. How's it running? Pretty good. Save states. I've got these set up for states to show you. Hotkey and the north button.
You don't belong in this world.
Don't have to wait for all that stuff.
It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute. Tribute?
Apologise for the
You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
you know, the wonky
The same could be said of
camera.
religions. Your words
Let's
are
fast
enemies
forward
of
a
soul.
bit.
Mankind don't need a savior such as you. What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
Save states, you know, you want to do the hotkey and the west button. And it runs pretty sweet. It's, I mean, I'd call it flawless. Alright, enough of that. I'm going to save it first so I don't have to look through that. So just hotkey and X is save. It doesn't necessarily say, oh, I'm saving. But we can go back to it, see. Alright, so back out. That was running on DuckStation, which I found to be rock solid for most. Conker's another game that often doesn't want to play too well. Let's have a look at this game's options. Okay, is running on Mupen. I've got the video mode to 640 by 80, and it is not perfect. But if you're like me and you remember when this game actually came out on the 64, it looked like mud back then. Save. Okay, so he's a bit blocky. That's a little bit stuttery, jumpy. Alright. Oh, man. Yeah, welcome back. Just had a phone call. We're on the Conkers. I mean, it kind of works. It's a bit hard to play one-handed. So there's some, what is it, screen tearing maybe? But all things considered, it's not too far from what it was when he was born, I reckon. On a 2009 iMac. I've already talked to him. I gave him a bottle of beer and he fell asleep. Oh, there's some line tear. Not that I'm looking for problems. Alright, next. Everybody always wants to see GoldenEye. Again, hold down the south button. Advanced game options. Let's have a look. It likes to run on Mupen as well. And I can't remember if I had to set it to 640, whatever it was. Let's have a look. Let's see if I can do something. It's not going to work like that, is it? Sorry for the fingers. I'm by no means a professional. Right, so here's Bond. It looks pretty crisp. Yeah, it looks pretty pixelated. I'm one-handed. That's probably why you don't see too many videos of people showing you the games. Get that in you. You too! Alright, so this is Bond. Yeah, it's playing. Does it look fantastic? Mate, that's up to you to judge. Again, I was here when these games were made. I remember buying Bond from Tandy the day it came out. It was $80. And I played it probably for the next 25 years straight. So, it's not far from the original, I reckon. But there is, if you want to play 64, best thing to do is to buy a 64 and a flash card, because the emulators don't really do it justice. However, it all looks a bit trash on the LCD screens. Look, I had a lot of fun playing this game. I'd never played it before, just on the Atari. And it plays brilliantly. I mean, you could run this game on a toaster. Look how fast he goes. I still don't know what you need to do. Yeah. Give me some eggs. Wise guy, are you? Anyway, that's just Atari. It's all there. It works. Next. Mega Man. Let's show you some PlayStation. I think this one's running on DuckStation as well. I think I've got a save file, hotkey and the north button. Oh, I thought I did. Hey, we can just fast forward it. That's okay too. And the reason why I brought this up is some people are like, oh, Mega Man doesn't really do much. It's so choppy. Well, it's pretty sweet, I reckon. Like, it played brilliantly. Yeah. Yeah, there's reflection in here. That's because we're in my shed. Oh man, just pushed the wrong button. All right, you'll have to take my word for that one. Game options, Parappa, auto emulator. All right. So some people are like, oh, Parappa doesn't work. Like, Parappa, you just got to mess with the settings.
You got that right, teacher. Thanks a lot.
Just passed. No big deal. Kind of a big deal on Parappa the Rapper. I played this on the PlayStation when it came out, and it was so much fun. Anyway, it looks good. It plays good. Let's go back out. What have we got? Another PlayStation game. Ridge Racer. It's a pretty sweet game. I never really played this at all when it came out. But like, it looks sweet. On a dual core, 2 gig of RAM, I think it's mid 09 iMac. Anyway, enough of that. San Francisco Rush. Let's have a look at what emulator it is on. Advanced game options. Auto 64. Nintendo 64. It's on auto emulator. Alright, save game loaded. And I remember playing this when it came out. It looked so gorgeous. We really are spoilt for games now. And again, I paid $80 for this game. Way up! You can see it. I think it blacked out a bit there. You can see a few artifacts coming through. Some games like Blast Core on the 64, I just couldn't get to run. I mean, Blast Core is a very hard game to emulate anyway, but you just kept getting all these frames popping up. Oof. Anyway, does it work? Yeah. Man, I played Shinobi so much. See, the arcade games, I had to fiddle with a bit to get it to work properly on account of the sound had this stutter to it. And I'll show you where. I think I've set it for all the Final Burn Alpha Neo games. So in here, arcade stuff, select button, advanced system options. You'll see I've got the audio latency set for 256, which I think is the most of latency, because it had some like artifacts and it kind of screeched or stuttered, or what would you call it? But look, I played it the other night. I had to finish it. It is such a hard game. I don't know who could ever play this game like legit at the arcade. I just got kicked in the nuts. Let's see. Let's go straight back. Oh, the buttons are all... I played this on the Master System. It had 2 buttons. If you want to do that move, you had to push them both together. And jump and throw your stuff is opposite. But anyway, sounds good. I played it, finished it. I think it took me about 150 save spots. because it's a ridiculously hard game, but gosh, it's fun. The best I can do with one hand. A much loved game, the Streeties. Oops, wrong button? No, we're good. Insert coin. You select. Go to the can. Can I beat Sean one-handed? One-handed you, Sean. One-handed you, Sean. You stole my clothes. Stealing my clothes, Sean. Yeah, that's what you get for stealing my clothes. Yeah. Your mum felt that one. I love trash talking too. I'm a bad sport, and when I lose and win, I'm just a bad sport. I really enjoy trash talking. Anyway, that is it. It works. Let's go back. Yeah, look, do you want to see Tekken? Sure you do. I think I've got a saved game. I never played much Tekken on the PlayStation. This won't play anything higher than PlayStation. I tried GameCube and stuff, and it just didn't get there. I messed with the settings a lot. Just didn't get there. I'm not even going to bother playing SNES, Master System, Mega Drive, because that stuff can run on a toaster, and you're just going to have to take my word for it. So look, that game looks pretty rock solid. And I think this is standard emulator settings as well. Do you reckon he's got a real wolf head, or is that a mask? Somebody want to tell me? Yeah, I much prefer the Street Fighters. But look, works. Dual core, 2 gig of RAM. You don't need the best, the brightest, the most beautiful stuff. The screen on these things are beautiful. The sound is okay. It's a bit tinny for me. I've hooked it up to a speaker and it was pretty good. Yes, Ken again. Yeah, eat that. Eat that, Gambit. Oh. If I had 2 hands, Gambit. If I had 2 hands, you wouldn't be talking like that. Get back here where I can punch you in the face. Oh, I can't hit the road. Sorry for the camera jumping everywhere. I got all excited. Yeah, look. So this is it. There's a few faves I thought I'd show off. The more difficult ones. Like all the other. Oh, I've got 17,000 games. Look, the Kinhank drive is filled with clones of copies, and it's a red hot mess. I think I redid the Genesis ones, the Mega Drive ones. Yeah, so there's only 1 game, 1 ROM types for them. For the Master... maybe not the Master System. Yeah, I did. 1 game, 1 ROM sets for Master System. For the SNES... What have I done? Yep, 1 game, 1 ROM for the SNES. But yeah, as I said, I really found it difficult with Batocera just to organise the main games with all the different ROM sets. So here they are. We've got European, French. This dual core 2 gig will play Scum V games, but all the ones on the Kinhank drive were in French or something, and I really couldn't be bothered trying to put them on here because I'm not going to play them. I'm probably going to sell this on or give it away as a gift for somebody. I think it's pretty rad. But look, I just wanted to show you because there's lots of different stuff going on out there, and I found, people like, I've got a 3090 Ti and it plays this. That's no good to me. Don't want to know about your 3020 Ti what you do with all that stuff. I want to know, can I get things to run on stuff that isn't supposed to run it? I've got projects all through here. I've messed around with every different kind of game thing you can put together. I've built myself an arcade cabinet. I have lots of fun. I picked up another computer the other day that I'll muck around with. It's water cooled. I've never used water cooling before. Looks really interesting. But look, Batocera 35. Well done if you've got this far.